Hello, I'm going to go ahead and review the artist role and cultural context discussion post. The due dates are available on Canvas. So just as a reminder, if you submit your homework in the last 10 minutes before it's due, it might not upload correctly. I've found that the Canvas site gets really overloaded right around the deadline due date time, so oftentimes at 11:59. And also, you should just post early, get the homework done if you can. Gives you and your classmates the opportunity to see each other's work. Okay, so that being said, this is going to be a 500-word essay, and I'm going to go over all the requirements now. I encourage you to use an editing, do this in Word or whatever editing program you use so you can spell check it and just make sure it's easier for me to read and your classmates to read. Include any links that you use, and you can just do it at the very bottom of your essay. Just you can post links. I think that's always helpful. And be sure to put an image by the artist. So I'll go over that as well. This homework is basically going to enable you to reflect on the first, going back to the module, the visual analysis module, and it will enable you to reflect on the fourth area of investigation. And that's the cultural context. So I'm excited that you get to kind of reflect back on something that I think is really important as you're starting to understand art and why an artist makes what they've made. So considering that cultural context is going to be a big component of this homework assignment. And then also the role of the artist, which was covered in this learning unit. And again, you can, review this information. You can revisit the PDF where, there's other videos, or revisit my lecture. So let me just go back. So the prompts that you're going to want to consider for this homework assignment, first you're going to pick one of the artists that was covered in this module, either Ken Gonzalez-Day, Andy Warhol, or Faith Ringgold. And you're going to pick one of the artist's artworks that you feel reflects their thoughts and feelings from the 1960s. And so Faith Ringgold, we talked about one of her pieces. We talked about one of Andy Warhol's pieces. And Ken Gonzalez made his work not in the 60s, but reflecting his feelings about what was happening in that time period. So you're going to pick one of their artworks and embed it into your discussion post and include the physical properties. So those are the objective facts, the name of the artist, the name of the artwork, the day it was made, the size, the materials and medium. So what type of paint was it, or what type of a photograph, if you can find that information out. Anything about the techniques, and then, I would like to hear what you think its apparent function is. And that could be fine art painting, that could be, a sculpture that has a specific function. So just state what either you find out by research or just your gut feelings is also great. You're going to discuss how this artwork that you're sharing with us, you feel expresses the artist's feelings regarding the civil rights movement. And included in that paragraph, or however you want to, you can grab these and use these as bullet points in your homework assignment. You can weave some of these concepts into your essay, but I also just want you to include like some of the research that you might have that you might know about the civil rights movement, but especially specifically reflecting back on whatever artwork you're discussing. And then you're also going to talk about the role of the artist. So there's 4 different roles. I've included them here. Pick one of those roles that you feel applies to the artwork and the artists that you're discussing in this post, their creative process. And then again, cite any links, and you can just cut and paste the links if you want to, give us a brief description of what you discovered in that link. That's also nice. But posting the links is a good idea. And then when you respond to one of your classmates' posts with a minimum of 100 words, be sure to use the terms in the language from the learning unit. And I've included some ideas here. These aren't required prompts, but just to give you some ideas of what to talk about. You could compare the artist that you're discussing to the artist that your classmate wrote about. Maybe you wrote about the same artist and the same artwork, so you could talk about that. You could share your thoughts on the main topics covered in this module in relationship to what your classmate discussed in their post. So whatever you want to write about, that's open, but those are some suggestions if you're kind of at a loss of what to write about. All right, well, thank you for listening, and let me know if you have any questions.